Welcome to another episode of Anime Recap on my channel. Today, we will look at the anime titled, Am I Actually the Strongest? In this ongoing anime series, it talks about a reincarnated boy who wants to avoid being bullied and harassed. He desires a sweet, low-key life with no stress. He was reincarnated into a world full of magic and was born into a royal family. Although he was abandoned by his royal parents in a wild forest that can barely be found by humans. I guess you would like to know why, so please like, share, and subscribe to get more series recaps like this. Let's dive in. The scene opens with our main character as an infant, reborn into a royal family, which makes his dream of living an easy life come true. His father, King Jilk, looks cheerful and happy about the newborn baby, seeing the royal insignia on his left chest. As per the tradition of the land, his magical levels are measured, but seem to be at level 2, which is too low for the king's liking. His parents were confused about this and chose to abandon him in a forest, which shattered his dream of living a stress-free life. While in the forest, the innocent newborn struggles to survive and tries many barrier magic, of which all happen to be great. In reality, his mono level is 1002, but since the devices used for measuring people's mono levels were not designed to measure numbers higher than 2 digits, he could only use barrier magic but could perform a variety of things with this power. He was attacked by a Fenrir in the form of a wild animal. The young boy was scared and tried to protect himself with barrier magic. The Fenrir discovered his powers and abilities, which made the Fenrir call him Lord and then take him as master. The Fenrir was named Flay, and she also possessed her own ability, which allowed her to transform into a beautiful lady with red hair. Right then, a stranger with the name Gold Senfis walked up to them to claim the baby, which made Flay look anxious. They both struck a deal. The deal was that Flay would always be right behind her master, and Gold would take her in as a personal attendant. It's now 9 years of Haruto living with an adopted family, and also with Flay behind him to serve him. He was less loved by his adoptive sister, Charlotte. She was so much curious and found Haruto as an odd person. Along the years, he tried to leave the family without hurting anyone's feelings, especially Flay, so he studied more barrier magic to make a clone of himself. His adoptive father tried to teach him how to use a sword, considering his low mono level, but he performed excellently well, and this kept Gold thinking all day about his ability. Haruto was found in his room while he heard the commotion of many outside. He approached his dad to know what's going on, and then he figured out that they were attacked by bandits, and this had caused many soldiers to be injured. Gold instructed him to go back inside as he was too young to witness the chaos, but he was also not happy with the news. He helped all the injured soldiers get healed with his barrier magic. They were all surprised and happy, including Gold and his father, but Flay knew the source of the healing. As night sets in, he wakes up and promises himself to find out about the attack and to take revenge on his father's behalf. Flay was standing at his door. They both agreed on searching for the bandits following the order of her master. He makes use of his barrier magic to discover the location of the bandits. They both fly in the sky using Haruto's magic. Charlotte spotted them in the sky and became curious. The next scene shows the bandits rejoicing and happy for their victory over Gold and his flock. Haruto and Flay interrupted the captain's discussion and tried to figure out why they attacked them by asking them various kinds of questions, which he requested answers for. He came to realize that they are soldiers from the neighboring empire, ordered to set chaos within the borders of the kingdom. After all the conversation, Haruto orders Flay to unleash their fury on them by burning down the whole entire fort. A report was brought to Gold about the incident last night. He was bothered and wished to investigate the matter. He assumed that Flay will be the one behind the attack considering the fact she possesses power that generates fire. Charlotte became more furious and went to Flay to find out some information about Haruto. She explained to Flay that she was aware of their outing last night, but when she went to Haruto's room to confirm, she met him in deep sleep. But she noticed that the usual scary aura she always felt around Haruto is not present. What could that be? Flay met with her master and explained to him about Charlotte's curiosity. Due to that, Haruto plans to set up a surveillance barrier on Charlotte so he could monitor her movements and thoughts. Charlotte became more curious and needed to know more about Haruto. She followed him all day for a long period of time with the wish of knowing who he really is. I mean his true nature. Charlotte and her mom, Natalia, had to embark on a journey. On their way, they were attacked by the Imperial soldiers, as figured by Haruto. The surveillance barrier on Charlotte alerted Haruto immediately, and that caused tension in him. Mother Natalia tried to escape the whole scene but was injured by the attacks of the bandits. However, the barrier placed on Charlotte by Haruto was then activated, and she began to give directions of escape that she herself is not aware of. She gave direction into a hidden cave where her mother dropped her for her safety and promised to come get her later. not knowing that it was an illusionary barrier magic by Haruto. Mother Natalia wants to keep Charlotte safe. She decides to take her life when she was attacked again by the same group of bandits, but Haruto came to her rescue, and then she collapsed. Now, Charlotte is happy, seeing that Haruto saved her mother, and also he turns out to be the hero of justice. Haruto requested from her not to tell anyone and to make it a secret. News reached Gold once again, and he was at least thankful to the person who saved the life of his relative, but curious to know that fellow's goals and ambitions. Charlotte's friendship with Haruto begins clearly. She found rest and happiness being with Haruto, and since then she started playing around Haruto. She was introduced to anime by Haruto, and now she's fond of watching series of anime much more than ever. Haruto tries to deny her of watching anime late at night when he discovers that she's fond of that too much. They both studied ancient magic books together and also slept together in the same room, which gives their mother peace of mind, seeing their friendship. Gold went to the battlefield with other soldiers to capture the thieves that had been disturbing the peace of their kingdom. Charlotte was not happy and urged Haruto to help Gold out, but he was worried of getting known or caught, so he put on a dark suit as urged by Charlotte. At the battlefield, Gold met him and he was questioned, but eventually he escaped. So from then, he went to fight evil scenes from time to time and was named the Black Knight. Laius, Giselode's second son, full of arrogance and pride, challenged Haruto in a duel, thinking that he can defeat him due to his low mana level. However, he was defeated, and for him, that's humiliation, which drained him down and caused depression. The Black Knight, who was Haruto, and the Red Knight, who was Flay, went to capture some bad guys in the night under the order of Haruto. He initially instructed Flay not to attack hard on the bad guys so they could get some information from them. Charlotte, the little girl, was able to watch their actions through a screen medium prepared by Haruto. Another scene shows up with Haruto on his own. He noticed some dangerous gathering through his barrier magic. He went there to disrupt their gathering. Then he got some vital information useful to him. He found out that the queen was the mastermind behind all the tragedy in the kingdom all this while. Her goal was to assassinate Charlotte because of her ability that superseded the queen, which will surely lead to her downfall. She used the Empire to bring that to pass earlier, but failed, all this while she was the planner of the attacks. Now they all went to play on a wheat field, including Gold's family and the prince. Haruto approached Gold and discussed with him about queen intentions on Charlotte. Gold explained that he can't lay a finger on her due to her position as the queen in the country. Haruto, filled with anger, wished her bad, but Gold encouraged him not to. He made it clear to him how the queen was appointed. The king was threatened of his own throne. A queen is needed for the chaos to die down, so if she's no longer in that position, chaos will arise. Explaining further, 2 years before Haruto was born, a demon king subjugation was formed under the king's order. Giselode, Haruto's real mother, was one of them, and she beheaded a demon king all by herself. By that incident, she was praised as a hero and called the Princess of Light. Also, she married the king through the support of the people as a thank you prize for her heroic performance. Now it was clear to Haruto that Charlotte has more potentials that surpass the Princess of Light, and with that, she will definitely conquer the queen. But he promised to protect her to the fullest until she becomes a proper queen. Now it was the queen in her chamber with her errand soldiers. She was furious about the reports of the soldiers, as that is the 3rd time they are unable to capture just a little girl. In her words, she wants to end it once and for all using the holy sword she uses to slay the demon king. But here comes the man known as Black Knight. He has already found his way to her chamber by tearing down multiple layers of barriers with his magic, and that's magnificent. They both have a duel. At first, it was magic to magic. They both use their barrier magic to attack each other. The queen knows that the energy of the man in question is more than what she can compromise, and she will soon run out of power. She uses her sword, but all in vain. She ends up being captured with a slave-like collar on her neck by Haruto. Haruto warns her and lets her know that he will only forgive her if she stops bothering Gold's family and his territory. She can't remove the collar all by herself. She can only do so if Haruto forgives her, and she was with that curse for 5 years. Now it is 5 years. Haruto is now 15 years of age and tall in size. Charlotte, her adoptive sister, also has grown up. Since then, the family never had a cry of war, not to talk of chaos. They had peaceful 5 years. Charlotte is still an anime jerk. She's still fond of watching anime. She requested for a magic that she probably came across in an anime series. Haruto granted her the request successfully to make her happy. However, when father and mother questioned about what happened, Haruto, as the elder brother, lied to them that the Black Knight did it. Gold and Haruto had a discussion in that instance, talking about the current situation of Queen Giselode. She had never appeared in public during these 5 years. Haruto thought to himself that his no-stress life will begin in no time, but Gold informed him he will start a school in the capital. He was shocked about the information and immediately refused. However, he received a letter of recommendation directly from the king. Gold figured out that Princess Marion was the one behind the letter, thinking that she had found interest in Haruto, and the king acted on her order. He also thinks about the friendship of the prince and Haruto. As a parent, Gold wants him out there to see bigger things in the world and also for better understanding about Earth itself. He was asked to pick a personal attendant that will be of help to him and accompany him. He thought of Flay but was denied. Gold gave him more time to think over it and got back to him. Haruto at first thinks of making use of his clone copy. They both had a long-term discussion about the matter. The clone copy at first declined, explaining he can't use magic and will get into trouble, but Haruto promised to protect him. Haruto used 5 years to build a self-owned place for himself in order for his no-stress life dream to be fulfilled. Charlotte watched her anime continuously, and Flay found serving her master. Haruto tried his newfound magic of teleporting items, but was not sure if it works long distance. He had to contact his clone copy in his room right from where he was to test it, and it worked perfectly well. Haruto was bothered about the attendant he will take with him, and then went out of the room to take a walk. Thinking of the route he should take, he walks into the habitats of skeletons. He was welcomed by Johnny, the commander of the Borny army, which he defeated 5 years ago. Due to that, they paid him full respect and started following him, so he offered them a land, and that all settled there. But they not only live alone, they live with other monsters that have nowhere else to go, and Johnny is the chief commander in that land. The commander takes him to inspect their farmlands, cultivation, and harvest. Haruto was so amazed they had all that to themselves. During that, he thinks of adding some flesh to Johnny's skeleton to make him his attendant, but he was talkative. Charlotte begins to exercise her abilities by giving suitable names to items, places, and people. The names she gives look magnificent and can't be neglected. A blizzard dragon named Lisa was employed into the castle to work as a maid. Charlotte adored her and wished they both get along. Flay showed her around the house. That night, the castle all had a great meal due to Lisa's skill of cooking. Also, she's fond of reading books and was appointed to be Charlotte's personal attendant by Mother Natalia. Lisa, now having a personal attendant to Charlotte, takes up a responsibility of taking care of her. She helped her in acquiring some magic level of skills, and they became friends. Haruto thought of making her his own personal attendant to the capital school, but he can't tear them apart after being friends. But he found another way. He could disguise himself to let her accompany him to the capital, and afterwards, he could send her back to the castle. Haruto informed Charlotte he will be attending the Royal Capital School. She was shocked and immediately summoned for a roundtable meeting that involves Gigan, Johnny, Flay, and her attendant Lisa to discuss Haruto's departure to the capital school, which also was a shock to them. Charlotte and Flay were out in the field. She questioned Flay why her maid dress is different from others, and she received answers to her question as requested. Now she's curious to know how to fly. Flay tried to show her what little she can do, but Haruto was not satisfied. He watched them through a screen medium from his room with the help of his magic. Flay ran to his room to complain and was given a toy plane to satisfy her curiosity. Haruto, as a high mana level holder, prepared a device for measuring mana levels. He measured the mana level of the 3 around him, Flay, Lisa, and Charlotte. Charlotte requested to know his mana level, but he refused to reveal that. Would you like to continue the recap of this anime, or learn about how the queen's life ended? Then, please like, share, and subscribe to this amazing channel. Also, turn on the notification bell icon to get notified when I release a new episode of Anime Recap. Thank you for watching.